Very good morning to all of you. Nobody's greeting me. Come on, guys. Good morning. I think this is a funeral. Everybody in long faces. Smile. Come on, guys. This is a wonderful, joyful day. Thank you very much for joining the family, joining the friends, being here to celebrate the life of a very special person. We're not come here to mourn today. We're not come here to shed tears. Joy wasn't a tear person. I've never ever seen her cry, shed a tear. But she was always the compassionate one who was there for everybody who needed her. And I think we've known her for probably 40 years, something in that sort of area. Dennis, Moira, everybody's known her for a long, long time. And she was a special woman. Dorothy Joyce Durant started her earthly journey, her physical journey through this world on the 29th of January 1937. It was a journey with plenty of thorns. It was a journey with plenty of challenges, but it was also a journey of tremendous joy and happiness. She sowed this happiness wherever she went. Everybody loved her. No, she never gossiped. You could talk to her, and she'd never retell a story. If you wanted a secret, it's safe with her. That was Auntie Jaya. This is who she was. Unfortunately, that earthly journey came to an end on the 9th of December, 2 Saturdays ago, one and a half Saturdays ago. When her physical journey ended and her spiritual journey commenced. It was the start of a new creation, the start of a new journey. She is shed behind this physical body and adopted and put on the spiritual road to ascend to a higher and better place on this earth. A special lady. I'm going to ask you all to take your hymn books and let's sing the first hymn. It's on her sheet over there. One hymn book, number 164. The upstanding, or sit if you like, it's up to you.
Calling for
Many people sitting over here, and certainly Joyce, shared a simple, common philosophy. We do not believe in death. This, which is so glibly referred to as death, is the most natural thing in our life. We move from this physical earthly plane to a higher spiritual realm. We live on the other side. There is no death. I always approach funeral services with great trepidation, because sitting in front of me here are people from different denominations, people with different beliefs, philosophies. But there's one simple philosophy which encompasses every single one of us, and that is the philosophy of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes was an old-time prophet, sage, but he was also a person who could be controversial, like me. Don't worry about it. But it's great to remember is Ecclesiastes 4. It says, there is a time for everything. There is a time to be born and a time to die. There is a time to be joyful and a time to be sad. There is a time to mourn and cry, and there is a time to be happy. Everything that happens in God's predetermined time. Everything, no matter what it is, happens in a predetermined time. It is part of the universal life that we lead. It is part of the universal law of life. Remember that, please. It is an absolute essential. I want to just read you a little passage from Neil Donald Walsh. Some of you are familiar with his readings. He tells us no path to God is more direct than any other path. No religion is the one true religion. No people are the chosen people. And no prophet is the greatest prophet. Every one of us are equal. Every one of us are exactly the same. You cannot die, and you will never be condemned to eternal damnation. Nobody goes to hell. Where is hell? Tell me where is hell. Show me where is hell. Thank you, Dennis. He says, yeah, right here on earth where we live. This is hell. Very true, very true. Every human being is as special as every other human being who has ever lived, lives now, or ever will live. You are all messengers. Every one of you, you are carrying a message to life, about life, every day, every hour, every moment. Our sole purpose on this earth plane is to create a legacy. What is this legacy? What have we done when we leave this earth plane that has made a difference? No matter how minute, comes the sunset of our lives, can we honestly sit back, put our hands together, and just say, God, you know, I left this earth a better place than I found it. Doesn't matter how small, but I definitely did my share. I definitely contributed to this wonderful earth of ours. This was Joy. Always like that. She used to stroll in on a Sunday morning over here. Sometimes the service had already started. Other times we were just singing to warm everybody up. And she'd walk in the second seat over here on the aisle was hers. Walk in, greet everybody, and when she gets here, she'd say to me, word of worm. I was always worm. I don't know why. She was older than I was, but I was always worm. Word of worm. And she would sit after the service. She'd go up there to the healing room. Spiritual healers attended to her, spoke to her, gave her spiritual healing. From there she went up to have a cup of tea, have a snack, spoke to the lady sitting in the back corner over there. She was friends with everybody over here. They were all a close-knit little family. Wait for Sandra. Everybody always congregates around the organ when Sandra's finished. Waits until she was finished. She was the last person to leave this little chapel every day, every Sunday. Because she spoke, she wanted to talk, she wanted this camaraderie, she wanted to be close to everybody. That was Joy. That was who she was. And that is who we will always remember her as. A special, very special lady. I can tell you many little stories about her and so forth. We really wanted to upset her, ask her why hasn't she got a husband. She was one of a kind, one of a very special kind, and always believed and said her prayers every single day. She prayed for everybody, people she knew, people she didn't know, her family in particular. She was extremely attached to her family. You know, she comes in here on a Sunday morning and I say, how's Auntie Sally? And she says, no, she's alive, but she's not living. She sums it up. Auntie Sally's alive, her sister's alive. She visits her once a week, but she's not living. I said to her, Joy, what is living? What is life? And she said, well, it's when you're conscious and when you know everything about you. I said, no. Let me tell you what my vision of life is. Life is a monstrous big departure lounge in an international airline. And every one of us sits there clutching a boarding pass. We hold on to this boarding pass and we look at the passengers around us. And they call people to come and board this plane. And we see people going. And we're anxious. We don't know when they're going to call us. We don't know when our number's going to be up and we're going to board that plane over there. And eventually they say, well, the holders of such and such a boarding pass, please pass through the gates now and enter the aircraft. And you grab your ticket and you go through, furtive glance around, what's left here? Who's left over here? Climb into the plane, and as you sit down, the pilot says to you, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the flight to eternity. This, you need not worry about seatbelts or anything like that. I am the safest pilot you've ever found. I will deliver you to your destination quick as a wink. You are completely safe. Fear not, do not worry. I said, you know, that is what life is really about. And I know every one of us gets to that stage. Saying to my wife the other day, you know, just a very short time ago, I was planning my future, planning my life, planning my wife, marriage and everything else. Now, my age, nearly 80, I'm planning my funeral. What happened in between? Where did it come? Where did it go? What happened? What have I achieved? What have I put together? Joy would never have to ask that question. She knows what she puts together, and every one of her family and friends knows what her contribution to this wonderful life was. Every one of us will go to spirit. Every one of us will pass through that tunnel to get to the other side. It is a wonderful thought to know that we know exactly where we are going. We know exactly what our path's going to be, where it's going to go. Wonderful lady this was. I don't know if there's anybody who would like to say something in support of what I'm saying. I have a letter here. I'm going to read to you. The writer didn't want to come and stand here and do it himself. Dear Auntie Jay, this is an end of an era, and you will be missed far and wide. When I was growing up, we used to visit you and Gran on a regular basis, and you always acted grumpy, intolerant of us youngsters, even jumping with joy when we left home. And that was the attitude to small children and a husband. But I know now, that was always an act, and you loved us dearly, always ready to impart some tidbit of knowledge or advice. Now, I have no one to discuss history with. You were always quirky and different. A family photographer, that is what we loved about you. On occasion, you would come out to visit for a meal or a ride, and you were always forthcoming in your attitude and conversation, and you would always bring a gift to us, no matter how small. You were always independent and asked for little help in life, and always got on with what you needed to do, irrespective of the challenges, even to the extent of buying yourself a new car in your golden years and going against my advice of just Ubering around. In the last few years, your health did suffer a little, but you never complained about your lot in life and just carried on regardless of circumstance. You are and were a strong woman. May God bless you and keep you, and always safe and warm. Your loving nephew, Steve. Steve is the gentleman sitting over here, who has written this tribute to his art. And this little motor car of hers is another story. As somebody said over here, nobody drives with Auntie Joy. Nobody gets in the car with her to drive in. She used to come into the churchyard over here and park at the little red Mazda of those over here. And I go out and say, Joy, you're out of the line. She says, so what? Everybody can get past me. Don't worry about it. And eventually this car conked out, that it could no longer be repaired. So she said, Fred, I've got my new car. I said, Jay, at your age, you think it's wise and so forth. She says, how am I going to get around? I need a car. Don't take it away from me. So I said, all right. Then she phones me and she says, look, I've looked at this little motor car. What do you think of it and so forth? I said, look, you find the car that you really like, the car that appeals to you. Then phone me. And one or two of our people will come out there and will evaluate the car, look at it and see, is it worth the money? Is the car good? You're not going to have a problem. And she phoned me and she says, she's got this Suzuki. This is the mileage. This is the price. I said, Jay, there's one thing that worries me. It's done very low mileage for that year car. Price, perhaps a little bit too high for it. So I said, but you know, you are the one who's going to drive it. You've got to be happy in that car. You must know what you want. Eventually he phoned me and said, I bought the car. It cost me a lot of money, but I bought the car. But that was Jay. She made up her own mind. She took advice when you gave it, but then made up her own mind and went away. And it never, ever stood her in a bad stead. It always worked for her, every time she did this. I can remember first time I visited her, and I said to her, now, where's your house? And she explained to me, right next to the Turffontein racecourse on the side. I said, there are a couple of houses there. She says, now drive past, will you see the 6 dog kennels in the yard? You know, that's my place. Lo and behold, there were the 6 dog kennels. She was an absolute animal lover like you can't believe. And a little while ago, I was doing a service over here. And I said, you know, the only creature on earth that can give unconditional love is a dog. There is nothing else that can give unconditional love. And you know, afterwards she came to me, she says, you know, you're right. There is nothing. And the worst thing was for her to move from Rosettenville to the cottage where she is because she couldn't take her pets with. She couldn't look after the pets there anymore. Every Sunday morning she'd walk in over here, a little bag in her hand, and inside it was some food for the needy. Foods we give out to people who are in desperation. Half of the packet was pet food. Half of it was pet food, pets, not only just for human consumption, for pets. That was her life, that was her passion, her complete being. Joyce was born on the 29th of January, as I've told you. The meaning of the name Dorothy is gift of God. The meaning of the name Joyce is cheerful, merry. A little while ago, not quite a while ago, I got an SMS from her. No name on the SMS, and I looked at it, so I sent back a reply, who are you? And she sent me back just the letter J. So I sent back, I said, who's J? She came back and she says, do you know any other J Durant? So I said, no, sorry. It's the last person on earth I expected she would say J-A-Y or J-O-Y. Didn't particularly like the name Joy. That's why she used the initial and so forth. Jay was in good health. 2 weeks ago, when she was at church over here, I said to her, Sandra and I were talking with her, and we said, you know, how are you health-wise? And she says, I am great. I've just been and had a complete medical. The doctor assures me every organ is working perfectly. There is absolutely nothing wrong with me. So I'm feeling pink. I'm top of the world. I'm great. And I'll see you next week when it's our Carol by Candlelight service, which was last Sunday. So I said, Joy, that's great. That's wonderful news. Unfortunately, whilst the service was on, my cell phone rang. I couldn't answer it. And it was only afterwards I picked up a message that Catherine had phoned me to tell me about Auntie Jay. Happened before the service, as the service started over here. This is the lady that we today remember. And I'm sure many of you have got wonderful memories and wonderful stories to tell about a very, very special lady. Every Sunday, every second Sunday she'd come in. My wife is in terrible arthritis, suffers unbelievable pain. Every time she comes, she brings a little sample of medicine. Everything comes from Springbok Pharmacy in Alberton. She brings this little jar of camphor cream or special cream to put on. Sandra, try this. Sandra, this is a herbal. Try it. Whatever it is, just try it. And so on. And this was her, caring, wonderful friend, somebody you could always rely on, somebody whose button you could always press. Make no mistake. This was one very special lady. Her entire working career was at Barclays Bank those days, and she ended her career right at that bank. And I remember the old days, the older generation over here remember banks closed at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. Every bank closed, every shop closed. That was it. That was the half day of the week. Saturday, nobody worried about it. Every Wednesday afternoon, she tootled off to movies. She loved theatre. She loved art, artistic things. This was just her life. Fiercely independent lady. A little while ago, she said to me, "Fred, I've got some steel racks. Can you use them?" I said to Jay, "We can always use things like that." So she says, "Well, when can you come and fetch them?" I said, "You tell me." She says, "Tuesday morning, please, early in the morning, come to my house." I said, "Fine." Tuesday in the morning, I got to her house and rang the bell, and she came. I phoned her, in fact, and told her I'm here at the gate. She came out and walked up a little way, remote, opened the gate, and I went in. Many of you have been to where she lives. It was the quaintest, cutest little 2-bedroom cottage. Magnificent cottage. I think there were about 10 in this complex. It was a complete complex, but they were fairly oldish. They weren't new. And there was this beautiful old face brick building. And I walked in, and I fell on my back. I couldn't believe how Auntie Jay was living. Walked into the lounge over here. On my left-hand side, there was a TV standing. On the right-hand side, there was a single bed stood along the window over here. And in front of it were all these racks. On the side were all the uprights and so forth. So she said to me, "These are the things, take them out." So I took them out. And when I was finished, I said to her, "Auntie Jay, how do you live in this house?" She says, "Oh, I get by. And I said, "You only use here, why don't you sleep in the bedroom?" She says, "No, that's so full of rubbish, you can't get into the bedrooms." So I said, "Really?" She says, "No, all you could get to was the toilet, the bathroom, the kitchen, and the lounge where she slept. 2 easy chairs standing on the side of it over here." And that was the way Jay lived. This is how she was. And I said to her, "Can we come and help you clean out?" And Toki and George offered, everybody offered to go and help her clean out. And she says, "No, my nieces all want to come and clean up. When I die, they will come and clean up." I said, "God, okay, I can see this." She said, "Because every time their nieces come, they want to clean up. She said, "Not allowed." She was a hoarder, like you cannot believe. She hoarded things in that little house like it was going out of fashion. But that was her. That was her peculiarity. That was her special ambience. It was her special makeup and build. That is who she was. She had her quirks, like everybody else. Said funny things, had little jokes. Some of the jokes very dry and so forth. But she always told a joke. She always shared with whoever was around her. Wonderful to see her. Every time she went to visit the family with a car, she'd call the kids and say, "Come help Auntie Carrie." So eventually they started calling her Auntie Carrie. I can stand here all day and regale about a very special person. This is a person who's touched so many, many lives. And I think last Saturday, when she eventually shed her physical cloak and accepted her spiritual reality in her spiritual path, she could honestly and truthfully say, "I've left this world a better place than I found it. I've left it better than what I came." She can truly and honestly say, what a wonderful opportunity, what a wonderful life to have lived. This was a special lady, make no mistake. We will miss her sorely. Sunday morning, we walked in over here, and I said, "Where's Auntie Jay?" She's not here. She sat in that chair over there. That was her seat. Auntie Jay's not here. She never misses a carol service. She's always here Christmas time for a carol service. And I said, I can't believe that she's not here. And then unfortunately, 9:30, this call came to tell us the sad news, and unfortunately I could only return the call at about 11:30 to find out. visited her sisters without fail, one in the north and the other in the south, and called it her sister day. She always thought about Sally. She always went to Sally after Dad had passed on. She always dreamt of Sally being a better woman, a healthier woman than what she was. And her reaction or her caption of Sally, her description, is so very, very apt, because it must be extremely difficult. We've known Sally and Alan for 40 years, at least, I think. Wonderful, wonderful people who always shared with us. I remember going over to Alan's house, and Robertson over there, and he built himself a little healing sanctuary in the backyard. My wife and I and a couple of other people went along there. We blessed this little healing sanctuary. And we spent time with Alan. Sundays, Alan would come over here, sit down, and he was the life and soul of the little party. Alan was always cheerful, ex-Navy man, worked as a part-time at the lake in Johannesburg over here. This was Alan. He was an outgoing, wonderful man. Sally and Jay were part of the triangle. It was a triangle. They lived for each other. They shared with each other. They did everything together with each other. Everything in life evolved around her and her family. And as I say, I can spend all day here regaling on this wonderful lady who touched all our lives. I'm not going to do it because every one of you has got a special, wonderful memory of her. Every one of you sitting over here has that magnificent memory of a very special person. And I know at this particular moment in time, she is hovering around here, watching, smiling at everybody who's here, sitting over here, coming to celebrate her life, coming to share in that wonderful, quiet moment, that moment of existence. What a wonderful thought, what a wonderful way to go, what a wonderful realm to be in at this time. Make no mistake, she's going to want to help all of you, every one of her family, every one of her friends. I'm one of her family. We were all family. She's going to be there to help you. Physically, no. But spiritually, yes. She'll be there. You do not need to phone to talk to her. You do not need to do anything. All you have to do is just visualize her in your mind. Just quietly visualize her in your mind, and she will pop up like a light bulb. And she will give to you that which you need, that sustenance, that help. Thank you for coming this morning. Thank you for spending the time with us. We know where Sally is, where Jay is. We know exactly where she is. And it's wonderful to be so sure, knowing where she is. She's being reunited with family and friends on the other side. Soon they will be loving band, singing, joyful, delightful. That is where she is. She has not left us. No, we are soul inhabiting a physical body. This is not me. The real me is the soul, the spirit that lives within. This is merely just the vehicle that carries us through this earthly plane. This is only the physical transport that takes us where we need to go. The minute we get to the end, when this physical body can no longer do the transport, do its work, when it has to get out, our spirit leaves. It escapes this body, this vehicle, and it finds itself gyrating to a higher realm. This body gets cremated, left behind, interred, whatever the case might be, but the spirit, the you, never dies. And as Neil Walsh says in his little book, you cannot die, and you will never be commended to eternal damnation. You do not die. Life is eternal. Every religion preaches that. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for spending this short time with us. The family and Toki has organized tea. The family have organized eats. Invite you all to join them. Have a cup of tea. Have a chat. Be part of a wonderful congregation, a wonderful, close friendship, and just enjoy each other's wonderful company. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask you just to bow your heads in prayer for a moment, please. Great and eternal Spirit of love and life, Father, in you is vested our entire being. We thank you for this wonderful occasion to be here, not to say goodbye, but to cherish the thoughts of a loved one who has gone to the other side, who has eventually reached the pinnacle of her career on this earth plane. Father, thank you that you are the silent guest here this morning, that you watch each and every one of us. Our prayers go out for those who are sitting over here. Our prayers go out to the family in New Zealand who could not be here today. Their thoughts are with us too. Father God, we ask that you be with the family, that everybody will understand that your will is a will that everybody will be judged by, that everybody will walk that path. Father, thank you for being, thank you for giving Joyce to us for this period of time, that we've known her for such a period, and she could touch our lives, that we could walk together. Father God, thank you. We now commend that wonderful friend of ours, a great spirit, into your loving care. And pray that only happiness and joy will follow her. Thank you, Father. Amen. As we close off, I'm going to ask you to take your hymn book, stand, hold hands, please, join up. And we sing out with hymn number 1. Those of you who can't stand, don't worry. Thank you.